Please subscribe, like, and click the notification bell.
Hey guys, and welcome to Story Time with a Grown Woman. Swag and the W is silent. Thank you in advance on the intro, and as always, we're going to get right into it. So we are going to be talking about these two hot date topics: the Cheesecake Factory girl and the oyster girl. So they are literally titled Cheesecake Date and Oyster Lady Date. But anyway, I was not going to talk about this, but after I saw that I received a couple of responses to my comment on Fawcett Media Group, he has probably over or close to 2,000 comments, and I didn't think anybody would really see mine or respond to it. So I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to first off say, young ladies, you are making it so hard out here for us. Some of you are at an age where it may be fairly easy for you to date or meet people, but when you have older women, the older you get, the harder it gets. And young ladies, y'all are making it hard out here for us. You really are. It's not that serious. It's not that complicated. And you're not going to meet anybody who takes you serious acting this way and having these unrealistic expectations, for one. Okay? So what did I say when I commented on the Cheesecake Factory lady? I said, these females are a trip. I think there should be a meet and greet to see if there's a vibe, possibly at a coffee shop. After that, a date at a chain restaurant, or possibly participating in a hobby, should come next. Upscale restaurants come later. And the reason I said upscale restaurants come later, because with upscale restaurants, with that comes expectations. Yes, ladies. These men, if they're paying their money, because I have dates where we're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for that one night. And there are expectations for that. So if you're not willing to put out, don't be willing to go to an upscale restaurant. You're lucky not to have to put out for an oyster date, and you're lucky if you don't have to put out for a Cheesecake Factory date. But if you're not ready to put out, don't have those expectations. Now, I suggest a meet and greet because for one, I'm not that thirsty and hungry for a man to take me to dinner. I have my own money and my own food, and I can, feed myself. I don't have to thrive on a man paying for my meal. I hear a lot of you ladies have the rotation just to get a free meal every day, and you'll go out with anybody just to get that free meal. Well, I don't have that. So maybe because I don't have that, I can't envision where you're, a lot of you, I can't envision your thinking, your way of thinking. So yeah, I suggest a meet and greet, because if you have so many people that use different filters, old pictures, good angles, everything. And they may not be who they are on their profile. So why would I want to be stuck with someone for 2 or 3 hours and there's no vibe, or they don't look like themselves? Like, I don't want to be stuck with that individual that long. So I opt for a meet and greet because it allows me to just meet you and say, hey, I'm such and such. And, then that individual, hey, I'm such and such. Nice to meet you. You grab that coffee or that ice cream or just go to the park, whatever. And, you talk for a few minutes and then, you kind of go your way and you can, kind of gain whether you have some type of connection from there that's going to take you to the next stage or phase, which is an actual date to a chain restaurant. And then that's when you have, your good conversations where you're, getting to know that individual more. You may be texting on the phone, you may be talking on the phone, but once that actual date is set, that's when you start to get to know this person. But you don't know him or her from a can of paint when you're online. But you can determine whether or not there is a vibe or a connection that will lead to another date. So anyway, I didn't think that, anybody was going to look at my little old comment. So when I mentioned the coffee date, I had some pretty good responses. One person was like, she's lucky that I would take her derriere to McDonald's. But Pupe Love says, I just come into the same thing. Save the splurges for when it's an actual sign of affection. Lenny Links 8772 says, coffee date for sure. I learned that a long time ago. And the 313 Dash says, don't forget they call having a meet and greet cheap. I don't give a what they call it. This is the thing. The man is spending his money. And if he doesn't want to take you there, okay. He doesn't have to. And honestly, if it's a woman who doesn't appreciate where that man is going to take her, that's his red flag to go. So I don't care if they think you're cheap. If your feelings, if your thoughts. Then somebody else put like the bullseye, and Fly Guy 007 says, super agree with your comment. So and I don't know what Lenny Links 8772 meant when he said only if you are under 6 feet. So he was responding to the 31 Dash, and that individual said, forget they call having a meet and greet being cheap. Okay, so that particular guy was saying only if you're under 6 feet. So he was kind of like teasing the guy. So anyway, yeah, so I was surprised that people thought that a coffee date was a cool thing to do. And I mean, for me, it was fun. I recently shared my online dating experience. I do have a playlist with my experiences if you care to check them out. But I recently went on my first date. I've been back to online dating for about 90 days now. And I've shared, some of the things that I've experienced. Well, I just went on a coffee date and it ended up really well. And after we had dialogue, I mean, like we ended up going to the park and walking and talking and laughing and just getting to know each other. And he asked me out on a official date. So, I mean, those things are meaningful and they don't put you in a position to where you're just going to be objectified. I mean, if I was a man and these women, like the lady who ate all of the oysters, like, okay, shout out to him for leaving her to pay for her own tab. If a man asks you for drinks, you go and you get freaking drinks. Like, if you don't want that guy, don't take his money. That's what I was always told as a kid. That will get you killed. It will. Oops, sorry, I'm probably not supposed to say that. But, bad things can happen. So if you don't want the man, you don't want his money. Now, actually saw the couple, the Cheesecake Factory couple. And if you notice, she continued to say how pretty she was and this and that. So, okay, I can look at her and tell she was average. So she's even less than that when she takes the weave out and the makeup off and the lashes. And she was overweight. I could see all the extra meat under here. So she was overweight. But yet she wants to be treated a certain way. Now, right here, they were on this interview. And if you look at the proportion size, she's a lot larger than the guy who took her out. And I think she probably wanted to deal with that individual because she felt like she could run over him and get whatever she wanted out of him. But shout out to that young man who said, well, I just take you home because this ain't working. But yeah, so thanks you guys for commenting on what I said as far as the coffee date. And if you're listening, tell me in the comments, do you agree with having a meet and greet with a coffee date or ice cream or something like that, just to see if there's a connection between you and that individual? Or do you prefer a lavish date? If you prefer a lavish date, are you willing to put out? Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for listening to Storytime with a Grown Woman. Swag and the W is silent. If you haven't, please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification. And I will see you as always in the next one. Bye.